Welcome back to our channel. Today we are covering AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Certification. To find the complete list of questions and answers, please go to the playlist link provided in the description. Our team is working hard to keep the content up to date. If you find this video helpful, let us know in the comment. We really appreciate if you like and subscribe to our channel. Today's question is: a company stores documents in Amazon S3 with default settings. A new regulation requires the company to encrypt the documents at rest, rotate the encryption keys annually, and keep a record of when the encryption keys were rotated. The company does not want to manage the encryption keys outside of AWS. Which solution will meet these requirements? Option A. Use server-side encryption with Amazon S3 managed encryption keys. Option B. Use server-side encryption with AWS KMS managed encryption keys. Option C. Use server-side encryption with customer-provided encryption keys. And option D. Use client-side encryption before sending the data to Amazon S3. The correct answer is option C. Next question is: a developer is creating a serverless web application and maintains different branches of code. The developer wants to avoid updating the Amazon API gateway target endpoint each time a new code push is performed. What solution would allow the developer to perform a code push efficiently without the need to update the API gateway? Option A. Associate different AWS Lambda functions to an API gateway target endpoint. Option B. Create different stages in API gateway, then associate API gateway with AWS Lambda. Option C. Create aliases and versions in AWS Lambda. And option D. Tag the AWS Lambda functions with different names. The correct answer is option C. Next question is: a software company is using AWS code built to build an application. The build spec runs the application build and creates a Docker image that contains the application. The company needs to push the Docker image to Amazon Elastic Container Registry only upon the completion of each successful build. Which solution meet these requirements? Option A. Change the build spec by adding a post-build phase that uses the commands block to push the Docker image. Option B. Change the build spec by adding a post-build phase that uses the finally block to push the Docker image. Option C. Specify the Docker image in the build spec artifact sequence with an action to push the image. And option D. Use a batch build to define a build matrix. Use the batch build to push the Docker image. The correct answer is option A. Next question is: a company is running a web application that is using Amazon Cognito for authentication. The company does not want to use multi-factor authentication for all the visitors every time, but the company security team has concerns about compromised credentials. The development team needs to configure mandatory MFA only when suspicious sign-in attempts are detected. Which Amazon Cognito feature will meet these requirements? Option A. Short Message Service Text Message MFA. Option B. Advanced Security Metrics. Option C. Time-based one-time password software token MFA. And option D. Adaptive authentication. The correct answer is option D. Next question is, a company is using Amazon RDS as the backend database for its application after a recent marketing campaign. A surge of read requests to the database increased the latency of data retrieval from the database. The company has decided to implement a caching layer in front of the database. The cached content must be encrypted and must be highly available. Which solution will meet these requirements? Option A, Amazon CloudFront. Option B, Amazon Elastic Cache for Memcached. Option C, Amazon Elastic Cache for Redis in cluster mode. And option D, Amazon DynamoDB Accelerator. The correct answer is option C. Next question is, a developer must extend an existing application that is based on the AWS serverless application model. The developer has used the AWS SAM CLI to create the project. The project contains different AWS Lambda functions. Which combination of commands must the developer use to deploy the AWS SAM application? Select two options. Option A, SAM-MIT. Option B, SAM-Validate. Option C, SAM-Build. Option D, SAM-Deploy. And option E, SAM-Publish. The correct answer is option C and D. Moving to next question. A company has a two-tier application running on an Amazon EC2 server that handles all of its AWS-based e-commerce activity. During peak times, the backend servers that process orders are overloaded with requests. This results in some orders failing to process. A developer needs to create a solution that will refactor the application. Which steps will allow for more flexibility during peak times while still remaining cost effective? Select two options. Option A, increase the backend T2 EC2 instance size to 11 to handle the largest possible load throughout the year. Option B, implement an Amazon SQS queue to decouple the front end and backend servers. Option C, use an Amazon SNS queue to decouple the front end and backend servers. Option D, migrate the backend servers to on-premises and pull from an Amazon SNS queue. And option E, modify the backend servers to pull from an Amazon SQS queue. The correct answer is option B and E. Next question is, a company has a website that displays a daily newsletters. When a user visits the website, an AWS Lambda function processes the browser's request and queries the company's on-premises database to obtain the current newsletter. The newsletters are stored in English. The Lambda function uses the Amazon Translate Text API operation to translate the newsletters, and the translation is displayed to the user. Due to an increase in popularity, the website's response time has slowed. The database is overloaded. The company cannot change the database and needs a solution that improves the response time of the Lambda function. Which solution will meet these requirements? Option A, enable translate text. Option A, change to a synchronous Lambda function invocation. Option B, cache the translated newsletters in the Lambda TMP directory. Option C, enable the translate text API caching. And option D, change the Lambda function to use parallel processing. The correct answer is option B. Thank you.